Welcome back to Silent Minority Killers, Minority Serial Killers Uncovered. This is episode 3, and today the story turns to one of South Africa's darkest cases. The life and crimes of Elias Xitavhudzi, known as the Pretoria Butcher and feared locally as Pangaman. This is a case that is not only about violence, but about silence. The silence that allowed a man to kill 16 women before he was stopped. It is a story that reflects exactly why this series exists. To reveal how the treatment of minority communities enables killers to operate in shadows, unseen and unheard. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. This episode contains descriptions of violent crimes and disturbing subject matter. Some details may be unsettling to certain viewers. Elias Xitavhudzi. Early life and background. Elias Xitavhudzi was a black man in apartheid South Africa. There is no verified record of his exact birth date, birthplace, or parentage. No documented siblings, no school history, no personal accounts survive. This absence is not merely coincidence. Under apartheid, black lives were systematically erased. Birth records were incomplete, education was underfunded, and personal histories were rarely preserved. Xitavhudzi's adulthood. By the 1950s, Xitavhudzi was an adult living in Atteridgeville. Details about his marriage status, children, or employment are absent from credible records. That lack of personal detail was part of what allowed him to remain unseen. Without a trail of documentation, his movements and actions were invisible to the broader system. Elias Xitavhudzi's murders. From approximately 1953 to 1959, a wave of brutal killings swept through Atteridgeville. 16 women were murdered, each attack carried out with a panga, a heavy agricultural blade. This weapon became his signature and gave him the name Pangaman. The killings created fear in the community. Mothers warned their daughters. The sound of his nickname carried dread. His crimes were methodical and horrifying, yet largely unnoticed outside his township for years. Why he was able to kill so many? Silence, marginalization, and systemic blind spots. Elias Xitavhudzi's ability to commit 16 murders without detection was tied directly to his identity and environment. Black townships like Atteridgeville were under-resourced, under-policed, and considered second-class zones under apartheid. Crimes in these areas often received little attention and suffered slow investigative follow-up. Xitavhudzi's personal background was absent from records, making it difficult for authorities to connect missing persons reports or recognize patterns. Victims in these communities were often treated as invisible, and racial segregation further obstructed communication and investigation. Crimes in black townships were rarely prioritized by national police, allowing predators like Xitavhudzi dangerous breathing room. These factors combined to allow him to kill 16 women before being stopped, and his capture came not through investigative brilliance, but a mistake of his own making. If the story of Elias Xitavhudzi, the Pretoria Butcher, is as chilling to you as it is to us, take a moment to like this video. Comment your thoughts on how his crimes went unnoticed for so long, and follow this channel for more deep dives into the Silent Minority Killers series. Xitavhudzi's victims and the silence around them. The 16 women he murdered remain nameless in most historical records. Their lives, dreams, and stories have been erased. This erasure is emblematic of the same societal neglect that allowed Xitavhudzi to continuously kill undetected. Silent Minority Killers gives voice to the silenced, to recover those lost names, and to reveal how systemic erasure enables killers to operate. Xitavhudzi's mistake. The watch and arrest. Xitavhudzi attempted to sell a watch belonging to one of his victims. This singular act provided police with a concrete lead. There are no verified details about the watch, no brand, model, or engraving, only that it belonged to one of the murdered women. That error broke his invisibility. Police arrested him, and he confessed to all 16 murders. Xitavhudzi's trial and execution. The trial was swift. In apartheid South Africa, the legal system offered little leniency for a black man accused of killing white women. Xitavhudzi was convicted on 16 counts of murder and sentenced to death. On November 14, 1960, Elias Xitavhudzi was hanged at Pretoria Central Prison. South Africa doesn't have a record of his birth, but they have a record of his execution and death. The legacy of Elias Xitavhudzi. Elias Xitavhudzi is remembered as Pangaman, the Pretoria Butcher. His crimes are remembered, but much of his life is unknown. That absence is part of the truth this series uncovers. Minority status, in his case being black under apartheid, can create a dangerous invisibility. His story stands as proof that systemic neglect allowed him to kill 16 women before his capture. His arrest came not from detection but from a mistake, attempting to sell a stolen watch belonging to one of his victims. That is why this case belongs in Silent Minority Killers. It shows that violence and erasure can work together, enabling killers to prey on communities without intervention. Closing. Elias Xitavhudzi was a man whose life remains largely undocumented. He was the Pretoria Butcher, feared as Pangaman. He was a minority killer, not in spite of who he was, but because of it. 16 women lost their lives. Their names have been erased, but their tragedy remains. This is the story of Elias Xitavhudzi. Until next time. Please like, comment, follow and subscribe for more Silent Minority Killers content. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok at Silent Minority Killers.